Hello everybody, welcome back to another video with Lim Reviews. Now these days we are seeing plenty of smartphones being released, and the one that I'm going to be checking out today is actually a very interesting value proposition smartphone from Realme. That is the Realme 9 Pro Plus, and bear in mind that I've been using this device here actually for almost 1 week plus now. So again, in this video here, I'm not going to really talk about like a full review kind of thing. Again, I want to focus on my actual user experience. Now bear in mind that my device here in Malaysia, it hasn't really officially landed, so I do not know the price, but based on pricing from other countries, I noticed that it's approximately 1,400 to 500 ringgit, and if you are in other parts of the world, that is approximately 330 to 350 US dollars. So in terms of pricing, it is sitting somewhere slightly above the mid-range, I would say. So let's check out what this phone is all about, the Realme 9 Pro Plus. Let's go. Alright, so first up, we're going to check out the design of the Realme 9 Pro Plus itself. It does come in this very fancy back panel. The color itself is called Sunrise Blue, and honestly speaking, I think it actually looks quite cool. So let me know what you guys think about the Sunrise Blue back panel. It looks like it's folded in half right down the center, and then if you tilt it from side to side, you will see a bit of, all kinds of crazy lightings going on, and I think it is actually quite nice. Now, another point that you might actually miss out here is that the device itself is a 6.4-inch device, so it's not exactly that big. Again, you can see my hands are quite small here, and with the phone in my hand, it actually fits perfectly well in one palm. Other than that, you do have that camera cutout at the back, which is actually very slim. You do not have a huge camera cutout, and I do like the fact that it has this kind of a semi-transparent kind of look at the back. I kind of saw it on other Oppo devices as well as Vivo. So I think they're kind of having the same design languages on the back here. But otherwise, that is that. Alright, so now let's talk a little bit about the display. Like I mentioned earlier on, this is a 6.4-inch display. It is a Super AMOLED display, by the way, and it refreshes at 90 Hz. Now, based on my usage, I found that it is actually quite smooth at 90 Hz, although I did feel that it should come with 120 Hz because, these days, a lot of devices in this price point do come with 120 Hz. And if it was that bit more smoother, it would have made the entire user experience so much better. But having said that, 90 Hz is still alright, it's still better than 60, and it does have to save a little bit of battery. So the display itself, I would say smoothness-wise, it's alright. Now, the only drawback about this display actually is the brightness. The brightness doesn't get very high. I don't actually know the exact specs of the brightness, how high it goes, but what I can tell you is that it's a quite dim display. And what I mean by that is whenever I'm outdoors, I do sometimes find it a little bit challenging to be able to see the display. So yeah, hopefully next time, the next device from Realme, it comes with a brighter display. But otherwise, if you're indoors most of the time, the Super AMOLED display will look very nice. Alright, so now done with the display, let me talk a little bit about the performance. So we do have the Dimensity 920 5G in here, and in terms of RAM, my device is spec'd out to 8GB of RAM and 128GB of internal memory. Now, in terms of how it feels like to use on the daily, I'm running Realme UI 3.0. It does feel quite snappy and fast. However, I noticed that occasionally it was just a little bit laggy here and there, and perhaps that is because this device that I'm having right now is not actually the launch production device. This might just be a sample, so I'm actually hoping Realme actually irons out all these kind of bugs. Now, in terms of playing games and all that, yes, you can still push graphics to the maximum, but I would say that the best bet would be to put it at medium graphics to get the best performance from your gaming instead. Now, I did play a couple of games like Mobile Legends and Subway Surfers, and the good news here is that most of it ran very smoothly, and the response rate on the display was actually quite fast, so I was able to enjoy a good many games on the Realme 9 Pro Plus. Now, moving on, let's talk a little bit about the cameras at the back because this one is actually quite interesting. Now, you notice here that we do have a triple camera setup. Now, this is led by the main 50-megapixel SONY IMX766 sensor. We also have an 8-megapixel ultra-wide, and last but not least, a 2-megapixel macro lens, which you will probably not really use. Alright, but let's talk a little bit about the 50-megapixel SONY IMX766 sensor. This sensor is actually used on most of the flagship devices from 2021 and even in 2022. So you must know that this is actually a very good sensor, one that has been proven to be capable of taking a lot of great photos, be it in the day or at night. So I'm definitely very happy to report to you that the cameras on the back is actually quite excellent. Definitely, I must give Realme a thumbs up here for being able to put a Sony IMX766 on a mid-range device, and people like you, if you love photography, take a look at these photos, guys. Most of the photos looks fantastic. It has a lot of detail, very good color accuracy. It doesn't look like it was edited or something like that. Overall, pictures taken on the Realme 9 Pro Plus just look spectacular. So again, this is a Sony IMX766 sensor, and I did actually take a video here very quickly to show you guys how the OIS actually works on the Realme 9 Pro Plus. So take a look at this video and let me know your thoughts on whether you think the video is great and how is the stabilization working out for you. Alright, so moving on, let's talk a little bit about the battery in the back. Now, knowing that this device itself is quite slim, I wasn't too surprised to know that there's only a 4500 mAh battery in the back. But the good news here is that with Realme UI 3.0, the optimizations were done quite well to the fact that it doesn't really use a lot of battery, whether you are playing games or just using it on a daily. So battery life wise, I'm very confident that you'll be able to pull through an entire day on one single charge. Well, in the situation where you do not have enough battery, don't forget, you do have that 67-watt charger. It's quite a huge brick here that came in a box. And according to Realme, it's able to do 0 to 100% in 44 minutes. And obviously, you're not going to charge from 0%. So about half an hour's charge to get enough battery in your device. Alright, so finally, before I end this video, I think there's also one final thing that I should mention here, and that is the haptics on the Realme 9 Pro Plus. I noticed that it was the short, crisp, and lovely kind of haptics, so if you are going to be typing a lot of your text on the device itself, you'll be able to feel those very small, tiny haptic feedback, which I think is great. I think it's the X-axis linear haptics engine, or the Z perhaps, but either way, you're getting a good haptic engine in the Realme 9 Pro Plus. Alright guys, I think that's it for today's video. At the end of the day, what do I think of the Realme 9 Pro Plus? Well, I think at the price of 1,400 to 1,500 ringgit, it is actually a quite value buy because of one main thing, and that is the camera at the back. Realme is giving access to people with lower budget to this very high performance camera sensor, and I think that is great because a lot of people out there, they just want to take some great photos and they don't care about so many other specs of their phone itself. So the Realme 9 Pro Plus here is really for those guys out there. If you are the kind of person who wants to focus more on your photography, your mobile photography, well, I would say that don't forget to check out this device because performance-wise is great, but camera-wise it is really awesome. Alright guys, that's it for today's video. If you did happen to like this video, don't forget to drop a like, sub to the channel, and I hope to see all of you guys in the next one. Stay safe everybody. Bye!